The topic of war has been the subject of hundreds of rock and metal songs over the years. However, there are far fewer truly great songs about the men and women who were unfortunate enough to have to fight and die in many of the wars that have been happening in the past 70 years or so, since rock music became popular. On this Memorial Day, the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus podcast pays our respects to those who have served in the armed forces. Get ready to rock out with your talk out. It's the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Welcome back, moms and dads, boys and girls, and Pittsburgh Kevins of all ages.
Yeah!
You're back with the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus Memorial Day 2022 edition. So thank you guys for hanging out. We do appreciate that. A little bit of business. We are sponsored by Wolf's Customs, wolfscustoms.online or Wolf's Customs. Find them on social media there. Why would you be interested in that? Because if you're a musician, you want to have a musical instrument that really kind of stands out, not just the way it sounds and all that stuff, but like how it comes across visually. You know, there has been a lot made about, and Pittsburgh Kevin can attest to this as well, about so-called tone wood, right? You know,
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
And how much does the wood, and I just watched this great YouTube video where this guy he did the most even comparison between like the different woods and stuff like that he could do, and ultimately even made an air guitar. He put the strings between two tables, and put a pickup on one end and tuners on the other, and made a guitar and played. And it was a really eye-opening thing, and that's all well and good, but picking a guitar, and a lot of it has to do with how that guitar makes you feel. So if your hero played that guitar, and people come at this, they have mixed results. Sometimes it works out getting their hero's guitar. Sometimes it doesn't. But if somebody you love plays that guitar, you're going to have a kind of emotional reaction to that guitar. And music is all about emotion. And I'm saying this to say that one of the big things that affects how people feel about their instrument is what it looks like.
Exactly.
How it's, the finish. So this is something that like can maybe breathe new life into a guitar that maybe you're not using that much. Now, I'm saying guitar, but Wolf's Customs works with, of course, basses, drum sets, any kind of musical instrument. You want to check them out. So find them online, Wolf's Customs or wolfcustoms.online. RockRageRadio.com. You want to go down and download that app as soon as you can, because it is a internet radio station that features awesome music programming 24/7 with things like the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. There's this really great show I keep hearing about called Hot Licks with Lily Six.
It is a really great show. It's on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
So right there, the app is totally free. Download it, go rockrageradio.com, Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.com, and LouLombardiMusic.com. You want to check those out because you want to get in our exclusive Inner Circle group where we can tell you about all kind of very cool things coming up. You also get access to this podcast on the day that we record it. You get to participate live in it. And as you will see, if this is your first time here, we do go through and review comments at the end of the podcast. So stick around for that. Okay, guys, we do have Lily V6. Lily V6, I need to turn this dehumidifier off. Why don't you
do that.
Tell everybody what's going on?
Well, I did just go to Welcome to Rockville, not this weekend, but the past weekend, and it was super fun. 4 days of rock in Daytona Beach, Florida, at the Indianapolis Speedway, which is kind of cool. Not Indianapolis, sorry, Daytona Beach. Sorry.
Yeah, I got you.
My brain is tired.
I understand.
But unfortunately, 2 days were rained out, so I didn't get to see like Guns N' Roses or Megadeth, but I also did get to see Kiss and In This Moment and The Pretty Reckless.
Oh, nice.
and Blacktop Mojo, who I will talk about later.
Blacktop Mojo.
Diamante, and many other bands. Plus, there were rides there, like a Ferris wheel and everything. And they had a water slide and all kinds of vendors and food, and it was wonderful. So that's what I've been doing.
Look,
then I slept.
I want to take a second to thank our listeners, our followers, for responding to the GoFundMe page that we started to set your bail.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody who contributed.
And that's
Lily
why I'm
is
back.
Lily was not. Lily was not at the Mayo Clinic getting treated
I hate
for
you guys.
acute herpes. As she said, Lily texts. Here's
Sick.
how this goes.
Oh no!
So Lily texts me or messages me on Facebook. One I can't remember which one, and says I'm at the doctor's. I'm so sick. I'm like, oh my god, what's wrong? She's well, they're trying to find that out now. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh.
And then I started. So the day's going on, and that Rockville thing popped up on the radio. And I'm going like, she was at Rockville.
Yeah.
In Daytona.
Uh-huh.
They know exactly what the fuck's wrong with her. She's fucking hungover,
Oh,
alcohol
please.
poisoning,
Yeah.
and sunstroke.
The sunstroke.
And I was not wrong, was I? That's exactly what it was.
I plead the fifth.
Atta girl. Go with the jail story. That's even better. I'd give you street
Although I
cred.
was not in jail
No, you
either.
weren't.
So there's that. I just needed to dry out. I was a sad sack. So.
You know, speaking of jail, a buddy of mine was telling me that, like, I think it was in the early 1980s, he got caught somewhere in North or South Carolina, and he had a shot glass full of weed.
Oh my!
You know, it was just a very small
Yes.
pill bottle. You
Oh,
know,
boy.
And it was really stupid how they got caught. I'm not gonna get into all that.
Right.
But they gave him the total treatment down there in the South. Like, boy, you done messed up now. And they, you know, and like played up the whole thing like
Yep.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yep.
You know,
Or
except
like
this
my
was-
cousin Vinny.
Yeah, like it was like a total like, oh my god.
Oh my! Oh my!
They got out the next day, had to pay $500.
Wow. There you
Wow.
go.
Well,
Yep.
that's easy enough, right?
And Mr. Pittsburgh.
Hey, what happened,
Pittsburgh.
everybody?
This is the famous Mr. Pittsburgh, everybody.
Ooh.
I feel so magical.
Twinkles.
No, twinkles.
Twinkles.
No, not twinkles.
I mean, you guys heard
That's
of
my stripper
Henry
name.
Mancini.
Yeah.
You've heard of Donny Ayers.
Yeah.
Gosh.
You heard of Mary Caligari.
Sure.
You heard of Willie Stargell.
Yes.
They don't hold a candle to Mr. Pittsburgh. Now,
No,
he in
they
the
don't.
house.
No, they don't.
Yikes.
How are you, everybody? How are you? How are you, everybody?
Wow.
What's
I
going
heard that there was,
Excitement?
I think a mailman got beaten with a baseball bat in your old neighborhood this week.
In my old neighborhood?
Brookline.
I'll tell you what. Let me tell you something about the mailman in my current neighborhood.
He's
If I
an
had a
idiot.
baseball bat, I'd be talking to him.
Oh, it's true.
Shaggy. I saw him the other day, man. He was walking up to our neighbor's house, pants down around his knees.
Shaggy.
He did. He looked like Shaggy. I'm like, and he
He-
fell up the stairs.
I like when we have substitute mailmen because they get the mail
They
right
actually get the mail right.
every time.
Yeah.
This one's an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, Lily. I get Lily's mail. She gets my mail.
Sometimes I never get my mail.
See, it
Yeah,
ain't just
sometimes
me.
I get
I
my
have
mail.
all kind of stuff I never get. And people always think I'm lying to me because
No.
they'll call
No.
and say, you know,
No.
Mr. Lombardi. But I'm like, you don't understand what's going on with
Our
the mail.
mailman's
And
an idiot.
I've been going through this for 20 fucking years.
I know.
Yeah, no,
Why
he's a
didn't you
moron.
warn us?
I don't know because I like.
I missed a wedding because of this guy.
Yeah.
I
He's
did not get
something
somebody's
else.
wedding invitation.
I know.
He's-
I missed something, either a wedding or a graduation or something. One of my cousins.
And then my friend was mad at me. I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
I know. Ain't that a
No.
bitch, Lily?
What are you gonna
you
do?
know,
Ain't
what are you gonna
that a
do?
bitch?
Well, I'll tell you what happened to me this weekend.
Talk to me, Goose.
So,
It's so weird.
oh my god. So I wanted to go see this movie, and it wasn't playing anywhere close. I had to go on like a long drive. And I'm gonna get into like where it was and everything like that. So we went out to this thing and checked out the movie. It was really good. Everything, everywhere, all at once. If you haven't seen it, you should go see it. And on the way back, it's dark, and you know, like this is some whacked out place I've never been, so I'm not sure where I'm going. And heading down the road, there's not a lot of cars. Visibility is kind of like weird, you know, because it's, you know, like there's no street lights or anything. And I hear something hit the back of my brand new fucking car.
Oh my god.
Lovely.
I just big like boom. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I like pulled the vehicle over the side of the road, and got out and looked around. It was a little pig.
You killed Babe.
It was a little pig. It was all bloody. I was like, and so then at this point, Sharon gets out, and she's like,
Wow.
she's upset. I'm like, I'm not putting it in a fucking car.
And driving it to a vet.
So I kind of scooshed it off to the
You could
side
add
of the
bacon.
road.
Yeah,
What else we could do?
bacon.
And we got back in the car, and drove home, and it was like nothing we could do. So went to bed and everything.
Yeah.
About 3 o'clock in the morning, I heard pounding, like insane pounding
Yeah.
on my door.
Oh Lord. Yeah. No.
Was it the pig?
So I come downstairs, I can see like there's all these lights flashing and everything. Like, I'm like,
What have I done?
so I'm like really freaking the fuck out. I'm in my underwear,
Yeah. Nice.
and this is the point where I go like, maybe I should have put pants on.
Yeah. You know.
So I open the door, and it's a state fucking police, big fucking black dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Sir, we know we found out you're involved in an accident, and you left the scene."
What the fuck?
And I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "It was an." I said, "I'm so sorry. It was an animal. I didn't really think that like
That was illegal.
the thing." He said that was some farmer's.
Oh,
pig,"
no.
And he was really upset, and all this stuff.
You're fucking lying.
Don't you want to know how they found out?
I'd like
Kind
to
of.
know, Lou.
The pig squealed.
I knew it was a fucking lie. God, you're such an
asshole.
You stole that joke from
I'm
somebody.
not getting drawn into this. I'm like, oh
That
my
joke
God,
is
what
going
happened?
around.
What the
So now
hell?
you guys
Oh,
feel
fucking
free
knew
to
it.
pass it around. It's one of those jokes that like, everybody's telling. It's like a thing.
Well, I'm like,
Some people listening probably have heard. They probably knew exactly where I was going with it.
And maybe
But
some
usually
were
the
some were concerned about the pig. You jag off.
Usually somebody says, "Well, how did the cops find out?"
Yeah, I was thinking
pig
it, but I was like so engrossed in this story. Oh,
I hate you.
Lord Jesus. What?
Okay, and I have so
Such
much
an
stuff
ass.
to talk about today, so let's get into
Let's
it.
do it.
First of all,
Yeah.
I want to make this isn't a disclaimer. I just want to say that this is a shitty job being a soldier. That sucks. Like,
Yes.
you know, like I know some dickheads that say stuff, well, they get free college. Dude, they're not sending them to fucking Oxford. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and even then, like, come on, man. Like, you know, it's a shitty fucking job. And a lot of these guys, like, they don't come back in a good way. They don't come out in a good way, the way that they came in.
Right.
And sometimes, you know, physically as well as mentally. So, and I have personal issues with with any kind of military action. I think it's a shame, and I think that war is something, military violence should be something that we should be over by the 21st fucking century. Okay, but in any case. So I just wanted to say that because what we're going to be talking about today is songs about soldiers, and I wanted to make sure that like we're going to joke around and we're going to make crazy comments
As we do.
because that's just what we do. But the reason we're doing this is out of a sense of respect
Oh,
for what's going
exactly.
on. Pittsburgh, Kevin, Mr.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh is
yeah.
a veteran,
Yes. Yes.
so thank you for your
Sweetly,
service,
sweetly
Pittsburgh,
hugs.
Kevin.
Yes. Yes.
So, and you know, and again, and on the other side, we're not trying to glorify violence or anything like
No,
that. So,
no.
let's go ahead and get into today's topic.
Let's
and
do
I know
it.
that everybody has their favorites. So let's start with Lily V6 because we missed her.
Did we missed you?
Everybody misses me. They just don't know it till it's too late.
So it's too late.
They take aim, but they miss you.
Nah. With this aim, I'm sure they're better equipped to get me. Anyway, Iron Maiden's The Trooper is going to
There
be
you
number one
go.
on my list
Sure.
because it's one of my favorite bands ever.
There you go.
A trooper? Was he a poper?
Yes. Anyway, the band does have several songs about soldiers, but this is one I chose. Released as the second single on the 1983 album Peace of Mind. It was one of only a few songs to get much radio airplay for the band in the United States. I don't know what I'm going to say now. Wow.
Say what you like.
They dug a little deeper in history for the soldier song, the trooper using the charge of the Light Brigade at the Battle of Balaclava in 1854 as their inspiration for the track. Because, they like to have epic stories about all their things, which is why I love them. Steve Harris actually wrote the lyrics, inspired not only by the history of the war, but also the Lord Tennyson poem of the same name. In the video for the track, the band took the association one step further by featuring film clips from the 1936 film The Charge of the Light Brigade, which starred Errol Flynn. In keeping with the military theme, frontman Bruce Dickinson can often be seen waving a Union flag during the live performances of the song. It's also included in Guitar Hero 2, because I used to play that game. Carmageddon 2, Guitar Hero Smash Hits, and Rock Band video games. It's also mentioned in the novel World War Z by Max Brooks, and is used as the opening theme for the documentary series Metal Evolution. Also, Iron Maiden has a beer called Trooper. It's really good. I've had it many times, and I can't find it right now, so if anybody can just go ahead and find that and send it to my house, it'd be great.
Drink some Trooper. It's
really
good for your pooper.
It probably is if you drink enough of it.
It's you and your poop all the time.
Oh, it's all about that pooper.
What's going? It's all about the pooper.
I'm all about that pooper. About that pooper. Here we go. Okay. So, next we're going to visit with our friend. Well, I really need Mr. Roger music right now. We need the band to come listen. Now it's time to meet our friend, Mr. Pittsburgh Kevin.
Hello, neighbors. Lily,
No,
would you like to be my neighbor?
I am.
Oh. That would explain a lot. Anyway. All right, so my first song is going to be, my number one is going to be Metallica 1.
Legit.
I like that. That was perfect.
Too legit to quit.
It is, right? Well, it doesn't take long for anybody to identify Metallica's 1 as a song of war. The opening sounds of helicopters and artillery drive home the point quickly, and the machine gun-like guitar and drum parts also sell the story. So for the inspiration, the band pulled inspiration from the 1939 novel Johnny Got His Gun, and this is why I picked this song, because in their video they actually
footage.
Yeah, footage from the 1971 film of the same title. Yeah. And here's the thing. I saw Johnny Got His Gun as a kid.
Oh, it's disturbing. You should see this.
As a kid! I
can't even watch that video, dude. I can't listen to the song. It's too upsetting.
Yeah. But I'm like, what? As a kid, I watched this. And if folks that don't know, Johnny Got His Gun is about a World War I veteran that lost his sight,
everything.
Hearing, speech, arms, legs, right? But he's still alive. And all he has is his thoughts. And as a kid watching this video and listening to the Metallica, well, I saw the film initially, and then when the video came out,
really
it just brought it all back. I'm like, whoa. But it's a very powerful song, very powerful story. So my first pick is going to be Metallica's 1.
Uno.
Yeah, they're very good.
Uno.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing that song because I had guitar students that wanted to learn how to play it. So I learned it, and then I saw the video, and I was like, ugh. Well, it's just rough. It's just one of those, you know what I mean? It's just one of those songs that's just like, ugh.
Whew. But it really puts into perspective, what the veterans who have fought wars for us, what they go through when they come back sometimes. And like you said, they're not whole, man. Yeah. So
psychologically or physically, right?
Yes, exactly.
Right. And that's what we wanted to just sort of talk about today. Kind of salute to the, our men and women in the armed forces. In 1984.
Oh, such a good year.
Why is that, Lil?
I don't know, because I just like it.
In 1984, we were only about 12 years or so out of the Vietnam War. It was still a kind of fresh wound. And I remember that in the 80s, many characters, Kevin, you might remember this, many characters on television shows, Magnum P.I., Simon and Simon, were Vietnam vets. That was a reoccurring theme. The A-Team.
Exactly.
It was a very common thing, and there were a lot of movies that came out about Vietnam as the sort of featured it as a backdrop. The decade of the 1980s starts out with the like epic classic film Apocalypse Now. It's from in 1980, so
Right.
it's like let's like open up this wound and try to freaking deal with it.
Right.
So songs that referenced it and music videos and stuff like that was very common. And I think if a guy was going to handle this and have a big pop hit with a song about Vietnam, I mean a really big pop hit like this, the guy, I think that whether you like him or not, is Bruce Springsteen.
There you go.
That's the guy that could like bring it across in a way without it sounding like exploit. Like Bon Jovi probably couldn't get away with that.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Right.
totally.
Motley Crue, Van Halen, they're not gonna really like that. You know what I mean? And yes, Jackson Browne and a lot of folks like reference the Vietnam War in their music and stuff like that. But this song, Born in the USA, off of the album Born in the USA in 1984, this is one of those songs that's like ubiquitous with 1984. It's like inseparable. It's like they go.
Right.
It's like chocolate and peanut butter, the two great tastes that taste great together. You think about songs from that year. Born in the USA, When Doves Cry, Jump. Like and we could go on and on and on. There's something in the air.
That's
what I mean.
Yeah.
But in any case, back to Born in the USA, it was a song that like it was inescapable. It was all over the radio. You couldn't get away from it. I remember that summer, I went to New Jersey with the girl I was dating because her sister's fiance lived there. Blah blah blah. Whatever. And I was like, no, it was a free trip to New Jersey.
There you go.
Just to see what's going on in New Jersey, and we walked up and down the boardwalk, and all you heard was that album.
Oh wow, I believe
I
it.
mean, that's all. I mean, but it was that record was the biggest record in the world, and it was New Jersey. This was the hometown guy,
Right, it's their hero.
Yeah, it's their hero. So it was a really interesting experience. And like his sound got imitated. Dire Straits has the song "Walk of Life," which is really the song Bruce Springsteen did around writing, which has that. It could sound like something that could have been on this album. But Springsteen wrote this song about problems that Vietnam veterans encountered when they returned to America. Vietnam was the first war the U.S. didn't win, and while veterans of other wars received heroes' welcomes, those who fought in the Vietnam War were mostly ignored when they returned to their homeland. If they were lucky, a lot of times they were singled out and mocked and things in a very ugly time in our country's history. The original title was Vietnam. The director, Paul Schrader, sent Springsteen a script for a movie called Born in the USA about a rock band struggling with life and religion. This gave Bruce the idea for the new title. Unfortunately for Schrader, when he was finally ready to make the movie in 1985, the title Born in the USA was too associated with the song. Springsteen helped him out, however, providing the song Light of Day, which became the new title for Schrader's movie and the feature song of the film. So this is where this movie Light of Day comes from.
Wow.
I didn't even know until just now.
I didn't know that either. That's pretty cool.
This is one of the most misinterpreted songs ever.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Ronnie Reagan, for all the good he did, like he stepped in it and his share of times as well. His amount of time too. Like nobody's perfect, and I always say people like I don't talk for a living. But when we're doing a podcast, you're shooting from the hip a lot and everything like that. People misspeak. Like I don't know about our current guy in there, but I will give him the benefit of the doubt as well.
Sure.
So, but the song has been misinterpreted. Most people thought it was like sort of a patriotic American Pride, Go America. Was actually cast as a shameful eye on how America treated the Vietnam veterans. Springsteen considers it's one of his best songs, but it bothers him that it's so widely misinterpreted. With a rock-licking rhythm, enthusiastic chorus, and patriotic album cover, it's easy to think that he has more to do with American pride than Vietnam shame. I think that other songs on the album do reflect some pride, in America and kind of good old boy kind of stuff. Darlington County and a lot of stuff. My hometown, have that, sort of almost like Norman Rockwell,
right? Exactly,
kind of like rock and roll thing going on, right? butchered that. This is the first song and title track of one of the most popular albums ever. Born in the USA sold over 18 million copies. The single was released in England as a double A-side with I'm on Fire, which is also a really big hit. It was the first song Springsteen wrote for the album. He first recorded it on January 3rd, 1982 on tape. That became his album, Nebraska, later that year. Now,
it was a couple days after my birthday.
Oh.
Sorry.
You're good.
You threw off his train of
I
thought.
did. I'm
This
sorry.
is an interesting fact about this album. Nebraska and Born in the USA were recorded at the same time.
Really? I didn't know that.
And what they were doing was he had written all these songs, like 20, 30 songs, and they were like, okay, which ones are going to be kind of band songs with the E Street Band and go on Born in the USA, and which ones am I going to do?
Yeah.
You know, and they tried them all both ways.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of neat.
Very
I didn't know
interesting.
that.
So, yeah. But the acoustic stuff, you know, him and his producers and stuff thought was just too good not to release. So, Nebraska is a very cool album, and you can understand why it's like, okay, right, Born in the USA is like the USA of the whole country, but Nebraska is a kind of like, well, let's zero what into some, you know, it's kind of cool. I'm not going to get into everything. There's a million things about this song. The song inspired the famous Annie Leibovitz photo, Springsteen's butt against the backdrop of an American flag. Bruce had to be convinced to use it as an album cover. Some people thought it depicted Springsteen urinating on the flag. Looking back on the cover in 1996 interview, Springsteen said, I was probably working out my own insecurities. You know, that particular image is probably the only time I look back over pictures of the band and it feels like a caricature of me. According to Max Weinberg, Bruce attempted to do the song in a rockabilly trio style with a country beat. Interesting. The drum solo towards the end of the song was completely improvised. Drummer Max Weinberg said that the band was recording in an oval-shaped studio with the musicians separated into different parts. Springsteen at the front suddenly turned towards Weinberg at the back after singing, waved his hand in the air frantically to signal the drumming. Weinberg then nailed it. 8 minutes were cut from the song, which Max Weinberg said went into a psychedelic jam.
Wow. I do not want to hear that.
8 minutes.
Yeah, they just kind of like went off.
They jammed.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, anyways, it is, and there's there's tons of stuff about it. We could go on and on and on. But yeah, the title song, the song was, it was inescapable. It was
it was everywhere.
I mean, that record and Prince's When Doves
Purple Rain soundtrack.
Yeah, those two records were like. I remember Musician Magazine announced their album of the year at the end of the year, and it was the only time they ever had a tie.
Really? Yeah.
Purple Rain and Born in the USA.
Yeah.
So but anyway, so we're going to talk a little bit about Born in the USA again a little bit later because I'm going to. That's going to be
another
our
one.
Lyrics.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
We're going to do our lyrics.
So there's no misconstruing of the meaning of the song.
Strewing.
Misconstruation.
All right, Miss Lily.
No, Miss Lily.
Yeah, I'm not a mister.
Mr. Lily.
No, you're not.
So I'm not a super huge fan of the grunge era, but I do like Alice in Chains, so I'm going with Rooster.
There you go.
Featured on the second album, Dirt.
Rooster!
My God, I hate you, Fright Night. And releases the fourth single from the album on February 22nd, 1993. Jerry Cantrell needed to look no further than his own father for inspiration for the band's hit song Rooster. The title came from the nickname given to his father while he was serving in the Vietnam War. Weird. Top Gun, that's Goose's son's call sign is Rooster. Whoa. Anyway, Cantrell stated in the Music Box liner notes that doing the song brought he and his father closer together. He recalled the first time I ever heard him talk about Vietnam was when we made the video. And he did a 45-minute interview with Mark Pellington, who was the director, and he was amazed that he even did it. It brought him to tears at one point, and it was beautiful. He said it was a weird experience, a sad experience, and he hoped that nobody else had to go through it. And it is one of my favorite songs. It actually was our senior prank. We had a rooster in the hallway at school, and they played that over the intercom. But that's not what it's about. It's about his father.
It's not a song about keeping chickens in your backyard.
It's not about that.
Really?
It's not. I figured you thought that was what it was about, so that's why I had to just clear it up for you.
Crazy. That's crazy. You so cray. You cray.
I could be cray. I don't know.
I could be cray,
Not at all. Just a little.
but you got to teach me how to play.
Oh, hey now.
Wow.
All right. I have a good one.
Do you?
What's
I mean, there's so
Kevin's
many
turn?
good ones.
Yeah, there is.
There's a
I
million.
when I was doing the research today, I know. I'll stop him.
No, you go ahead. Why don't we have Pittsburgh Kevin go?
All right.
Because I'm digging mine up. There it is.
You're
I'm
digging yours up, are you? All right, so I'm gonna go with Sammy Hagar. Remember the Heroes.
Damn it, that's on my
Sorry.
list. That's okay.
Oh, I could go with another one.
No, it's okay. Do it.
I could
Do it.
try
Just do it.
again.
Just do it, Nike.
Okay, here we go. Sammy Hagar. Sorry, Lily.
Oh my gosh.
Sammy Hagar showed his more serious side with "Remember the Heroes" from. Oh, remember the Honkies.
That fucking clown
Anyway.
off the show.
Honky the Clown. He was very prevalent last week when you weren't here.
Thank God for that.
Anyway, remember the Heroes is from Sammy's 1982 album Three Lockbox. Yeah. The patriotic rocker offered a poignant reminder that no matter what your position is on war itself, it's important to acknowledge the sacrifices made by your soldiers. Yeah, I think that says it all right there. You know, we're talking about, we don't want to glorify war or anything like that, but you know what, the people that put their lives on the line, lost their lives, and sustained injuries and stuff. This song, I was listening to it today, and I'm like, oh, I remember that song when it came out. But yeah, so that's my pick, Sammy Hagar.
High five.
Sammy.
Remember the Hero.
Hagar the Horrible.
He's not horrible. He's a nice man.
I like that comic strip.
Oh yeah, remember that?
This next one is The Sands of Iwo Jima.
That's
by
a good
the-
one.
go.
I
the
love that
Drive-By
song.
Truckers. The Drive-By Truckers universe is populated by plenty of shady characters. But here we meet one of the good guys. George A. is a family man, and in 1941, when the Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor, he first seeks a deferment since there's work to do on the farm. He winds up serving. He believed in God and country, coming home and leading a life that involves yearly reunions with his old war buddies. If George is keen on remembering his time in the South Pacific, he knows the difference between commemorating and glorifying. When his grandnephew, the narrator, asks him whether his experiences resembled the movie referenced in the title, the old-timer responds, "I never saw John Wayne on the sands of Iwo Jima." Yes, it is a recollection of, this patriarch or older person in the family talking about this being part of the Iwo Jima. I'm not going to give you the whole history lesson on it. It was a very hard won battle in the South Pacific where both sides had massive casualties. And there's a, so in any case, what the song is saying is that, like, we can kind of get in a skewed vision from, when we're not involved in it, and that, like, it really wasn't like that. So you kind of want to keep that in mind.
Right.
And it's got a good beat. You could dance to it. I'd give it a 7 out of 9.
Yeah, man.
Dick, thank you.
Dick.
Well, there you have it.
Dick.
Wow.
Dick Clark.
I just feel like you just wanted to say dick like twice.
I know.
That's why I think of your dick.
Wow.
I don't have
That's
one.
what I think of your dick.
Sir.
I don't have one of those. So there's
Okay,
that.
so what do we got?
Come
We got
on,
one
Lily.
more. That was my last one.
That was your
Shack it
last
to
one?
me.
I got.
Come on now.
I got a Little Doors, Unknown Soldier.
Oh, there you go.
Doors,
Little
man.
Doors, man. The first single from the Doors 1968 album, Waiting for the Sun.
Waiting for us.
That's not how
The Doors voiced their not-so-veiled opposition to the Vietnam War with Unknown Soldier, the first single from the 1968 album. It's trademark Doors track marked by Ray Manzarek's
Okay, over
signature
there?
organ.
What happened?
Or-
Wait,
Organ riff.
wait a minute. He has a signature organ.
I didn't finish. Organ riffing. Topped off an ironic Jim Morrison musing on how
Here's
children
my signature.
were watching the war at home on TV as their fathers were getting killed. God, just let me get it out, man.
That's what she
She
said.
said.
Fucking hate you. Morrison was inspired to write the lyrics after visiting the tomb of the unknown soldier at the Arlington National Cemetery. I've been there. It's awesome. I hate you.
You don't.
The same day in which the band performed at the Hilton Hotel International Ballroom, Morrison directed a promotional clip that featured him getting killed, which the band then restaged live at their concerts for the song's finale.
Wow.
Stamped.
Anything else, Mr. Pittsburgh?
I got one more.
Una mas.
I'm going to give you a scenario.
Oh, boy.
You're a film producer. You want to produce a film about the 60s. What song do you go with? Somewhere in the film that says this film is set in the 60s. You don't have to answer. I'll answer for you.
Dumber in the city.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what I would
Not
do.
Jesus.
I am talking about Creedence Clearwater Revival, Fortunate Son. Exactly,
That's
right?
Fortuitous Son.
Fortuitous Son. So CCR's Fortunate Son was inspired. I didn't know this. Was inspired by the marriage between Julie Nixon and David Eisenhower.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't
even know.
The song
I
draws.
learned something today.
See? Well, we learned a couple of things, but we can't discuss them on the air.
OMG.
The song draws a bleak contrast between the wealthy class, whose connections shield them from the consequences of war, and a working class soldier who has no choice but to go off and fight. Because I ain't no senator's son. Yeah, I just watched Platoon the other day, and it really, here's Charlie Sheen's character who was in college, and he quit college to volunteer, and his whole reason was, well, why should all the poor kids have to go off to war? You know what I mean? So that song really brings up a good contrast. The rich get to stay home and be shielded by daddy and mommy's money. And
Well, that's is expressed in the movie.
yes,
You know the movie I'm talking about.
Star
Yeah,
Wars.
totally.
It's
Of course
in-
it's got to be Star Wars.
One
Why
Flew Over
not?
the Cuckoo's Nest. No, it's not.
It's not One Flew
Never
Over.
mind.
I'm like already.
I'm
I'm
just
like,
kidding.
really? One Flew
I'm
Over
just
the Cuckoo's Nest?
I'm just kidding.
Hey, Chief.
Let's talk about. So, anyways, this is it's a serious kind of subject, and we don't wish no bad on nobody, or we're not being, we're having fun. I did kind of want to mention. I did have one I forgot on my list here. "Gone Away," which is the song by
Is it The Offspring?
by the Offspring.
Yeah.
However,
Yes.
it was remade by Five Finger Death Punch with a different kind of interpretation.
Oh,
Dexter
interesting.
Holland started doing the song during the Offspring's gigs solo on piano. A rock show can feel like bam, 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 and we wanted to take a minute in the middle of the set to let everyone breathe, sit down for a minute, and stop screaming. Holland noticed his acoustic rendition was connecting live. As he was also getting numerous supportive messages on social media, he decided to record the piano version strings for 2021 album, Let the Bad Times Roll. It makes it feel different in the way I think it's cool. It's a weird recording, so I'm so used to weird, loud, messy guitars cover up all your imperfections, and felt pretty vulnerable, quite frankly. Yes, they did it as a ballad, and the video is done as a sort of like tribute to soldiers.
Oh, interesting.
And yes, and if you
Okay.
listen to the lyrics, it can have that reading. The Offspring
Yeah.
did not write it
Right.
with that in mind, but that's just sort of like, I was listening to a playlist today with that, and I came up and I was like, oh, okay, and I wanted to sort of just give it kind of a quick
I gotta check that out. Okay.
So so we respect you guys out there. Do your thing. Hope that you keep your head fucking down, man. Don't get fucking shot or blown up. So, today's we're gonna do lyrics with Loudini.
Whoop, whoop.
Okay, and then we're gonna get off of the serious sort of vibe going on here, which is kind of weird for us, right? We don't do serious very well.
We don't know how to do that.
So this is Born in the USA by Ernie Stringbean. No, it's not by Ernie Stringbean. He
It's
should
not
change it.
Ernie Springbean.
Ernie Stringbean. So I'm going to turn the music on back in the background. I don't want to make it too chaotic, but born down in a dead man's town, the first kick I took was when I hit the ground. End up feeling like a dog that's been beat too much till you spend half your life just covering up. Born in the USA. I was born in the USA. I was born in the USA. Born in the USA. So you got this guy's like probably not from the greatest. He's not a fortunate son.
No, he's not, sir.
So that's how we will put that. So I think we can draw parallels between this and Fortunate Son, because the first verse is about a guy who's like doesn't really have much going on in life, so he joins the military. Second verse, got in a little hometown jam, so they put a rifle in my hand, sent me off to a foreign land to go and kill the yellow man. Born in the USA, I was born in the USA, I was born in the USA, I was born in the USA. So now who else goes to, a lot of times people who have the option, well, you can go to jail or you can go to the military.
Uh-huh.
So this is another thing that, this is sort of like something that, Mr. Springsteen is kind of like pointing out. That this is like Sands of Iwo Jima, and I think most of the songs we are talking about tonight that are trying to say like let's not get like, you know what I mean? Let's not. This is a bad situation. We really shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Come back home to the refinery. Hiring man said, "Son, if it was up to me." Went down to see my VA man. He said, "Son, you don't understand. I had a brother at Khe Sanh fighting off the Viet Cong. They're still there. He's all gone. He had a woman he loved in Saigon. I got a picture of him in her arms now. Down in the shadow of the penitentiary, out by the gas fires of the refinery. I'm 10 years burning down the road. Nowhere to run. Ain't got nowhere to go." So, he comes back, and he doesn't fit in.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, and then he talks about a situation with, and this is another situation that was true, was the people having families over there.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad. And then the sort of last verse is a sort of like, from here to there and everywhere, I'm like kind of trapped. I can't really make it work. And kind of lets you know that like, hey, just kind of keep that in mind the next time some politician is saying like, let's go here into some foreign country and do something. It's probably a good song to listen to, to kind of go like, wait a minute here,
Oh, exactly.
9/11.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like we discussed though, like it always bothered me that it was like, oh, it's a pro-America song. I'm like, have you listened to the lyrics, man? It's talking about how our veterans were kind of effed over.
People don't listen.
I know they don't.
Ain't nobody want to hear that shit, Lily. Ain't nobody want to hear that shit.
No, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, come on, Lily. Oh, I remember.
Anyway, Jared Grease says, hey, thinking of songs about military stuff, anyone remember the song Sullivan by Caroline Spine?
Oh, boy. Vaguely.
Yeah. And that was about the Sullivan brothers?
Sure.
Is that what we discussed there?
It's about the Sullivan brothers that were all on the same ship that sunk during World War II and killed all 5 of them. It led to the Sullivan Acts. Now siblings cannot be on the same boats.
Which is why they went to look for Private Ryan, remember?
Yes.
Oh.
I saw Shaving Ryan's Privates.
I hate you.
Jesus Christi over there. Why? Why do we even try to be nice?
I give up.
I don't know either. But yeah, go on.
Okay, so we're gonna like throw some bands and some stuff at you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, Kool-Aid.
Hey, I need that sound effect.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, so Lily, what do you got here?
I'm going to talk about Blacktop Mojo as soon as I can find them on my list here.
Mojo.
They are a rock band from Palestine, Texas, with Matt James, Nathan Gillis, Chuck Wepfer, and Matt Curtis. So they look physically like a band from Texas, but their sound is definitely not Texas-like at all. It's very rock, hard rock. They're fun to watch on stage. I just saw them in Daytona at the Welcome to Rockville show. The CD the album I want everybody to listen to is the self-titled Blacktop Mojo that came out in 2021. It's very fun. It's kind of bluesy. The song "Wicked Woman" is probably the highlight on the album. It's that's the blues riff that I love on there. And I think everybody should just check them out. They're fantastic on stage. The lead singer is so much fun. He can't dance, but he tries so hard, and I love it.
That's nice.
And they just had so much energy. So
Let's
I'd like
go.
everyone to check them out.
Good pick. Good pick.
Good.
All right, Pittsburgh Kevin, what do you got?
So I was listening to the local radio station here, local classic rock radio station here in the Burg. And they had a band on. It's a local band. And I'm like, these guys are really good. So the name of the band is Limousine Beach. Pittsburgh's own Limousine Beach.
Fun
so
stuff.
What?
Fun stuff.
It is fun stuff. Best way to describe them, they are Kiss-esque.
Yes, I agree.
Right? Right?
for
It's
sure.
kind of like that late 70s, early 80s.
Like Gene the Werewolf.
Yes. Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, very much so. But these guys were formed in Pittsburgh in the spring of 2018. And they're just a lot of fun. You can find them on Spotify if you'd like. And listen to, I don't know if it's an EP or an LP. But it's not even a P anymore. It's not even an album
None of the
anymore. But
Ps.
nonetheless, I listened to them at work the other day. I'm like, this is a lot of fun. So Limousine Beach is my pick for the week.
Mine is the band you know. The band you guys all
Do
know,
I know
which is Hailstorm.
You know it. Yeah, you definitely know
But
it.
I wanted to just mention they've got a song that's got a video. It's getting a lot of play on Octane called
great song.
Wicked Ways. Not Ways to be Wicked by Lone Justice. But
No.
Wicked Ways. So check it out. It's a great track. Hailstorm, Lizzie Hale, and she's not really a hometown girl, but I think they're from Harrisburg, Reading area.
I think
maybe.
they are, yeah.
So, yeah, I guess this one you guys would like. One of the things we try to do is, I try to make sure I steer you guys towards stuff that I think you're gonna dig, and not stuff that because I have crazy tastes. I don't want to steer you to something and you go like, what the fuck? That stuff sucks, Loudini.
Did you play a few shows with her back in the day? Is that my memory?
I did. Yeah, way back when they were
back
kids.
in the day. Yeah,
I
that's
played,
awesome.
Yeah. So, anyways, so that is it for that stuff.
Yeah. Let's do
We
something
did
else.
lyrics with Loudini.
Yeah.
What about
Let's go.
What the Beatles did today.
this
what the
day?
Beatles did today.
Did they do something? Probably.
These are a
I'm
few of
Oh,
my
yeah.
favorite Beatles
Of course they did.
things.
Of course they did.
What did they do? Number one thing.
They went to number 1 in 1964 in this day.
Of course they did.
But before we get into that,
Yes, Lou.
well, let's get into it.
Okay,
Okay.
why not? All right.
I'll do this later.
All right then.
I feel like I feel like incomplete. I feel like I haven't shared everything I need to share tonight.
Ooh. Little teaser for you folks at
The
home.
Beatles went to number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with "Love Me Do."
Love.
That was their
me
big.
do.
It was their original first hit.
Sure.
The version released in America had Andy White playing drums, while Ringo played the tambourine.
Oh.
The British single was a take on which Ringo Starr actually played the drums. Interesting. So that's why. What I mean? I would love to know, what was
Why?
the logic behind would British audiences prefer Ringo playing? They were brand new. It doesn't make any
Right.
sense.
I know.
On this day in 1965, the Rolling Stones played the final night of a U.S. tour at the New York Rock Academy of Music. During the afternoon, the band recorded 6 songs for the Claypole TV show.
Huh.
Claypole. Oh, the Beatles again began
We didn't know
on
that.
this day in 1968
Those
began
bloody
working on
fuckers.
what would become known as the White Album.
Yo, man. Why's it got to be white?
Well, don't worry. We evened out many years later. Metallica had the Black Album.
Okay, that's fine.
So it's
then.
all
It
good.
evens out.
It all evened out. They were a 4-piece rock band like the Beatles.
Exactly.
Ray Stevens went to number 1 on the U.S. singles
Oh,
chart
here
this
we
day in
go.
1970 with "Everything Is Beautiful." But I particularly prefer his novelty hits like "The Streak" and "The Days of
Yes.
Squirrel" and
Right.
"Berserk."
Of course you do.
Yes.
David Cassidy, this day in 1974,
yes.
Bernadette Whalen, 14-year-old David Cosby, David Cassidy fan, died of heart failure
What?
4 days after attending a UK concert. of his. Over 1,000 other fans had to be given first aid during the singer's White City Stadium show.
He was that good.
And he ended up being banned in England and stuff for a while. You know?
David Cassidy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, that was like the teen. He was like a giant
Yes, I
teen.
know, right?
People would pass out. And
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
Huh. That's crazy.
women would just scream and cry the whole time, like they did with the Beatles.
That
was a thing for them.
I've had that happen there, you know, after a gig, and finally I have to get up out of bed and open the hotel room and let them out. And there's dead silence.
David Bowie kicked off an 87-date Glass Spider World Tour on this day in 1987. On this day in 1996, Alan Whitaker appeared on the UK TV show quiz show Mastermind, his special subject being the Sex Pistols. He won a place in the semi-final of the show, answering all but one of the 18 questions correctly.
Nice.
Wow.
So he was he had a niche.
He
Sex
knew what
Pistols-
he liked.
Sex Pistols expert.
Wow.
Diana Ross voluntarily entered a Malibu drug and alcohol rehabilitation clinic on this day in 2002.
That was nice of her.
She's nice. It's in the archives, but I interviewed her daughter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Very cool.
It was very interesting. I had her on the podcast. Very cool. Mickey Most, producer Mickey Most, died this age on this day. Excuse me, this age at the age of 64 on this day in 2003.
Oh.
Most Brothers during the 50s, Mickey Most and the Playboys produced
Don't.
hits for the Animals, Herman's Hermits, Donovan, Kim Wilde, Lulu, and Jeff Beck. Finley Quay
Oh, yeah.
was threatened for jail after his mobile phone rang while he was in the dock waiting to be sentenced on charges of assault. After being found guilty of assaulting his former girlfriend, he was ordered to attend a 6-month domestic violence program by a district judge.
Okay, then.
On this day in 2004, our good friend Madonna was forced to pay out £250,000 in a lawsuit after copying ideas by late French erotic photographer Gary Burton. Madonna had admitted the video for her song Hollywood was inspired by Burton.
Oh.
Everybody's favorite band, Coldplay.
Yes.
This day 2005,
Love 'em.
Coldplay's new album was illegally put on the internet.
Oopsie
Oh my
daisy.
Lord!
OMG.
Jesus.
Oopsie daisy. Oopsie
That's
daisy.
epic. Fuck you, Coldplay. I don't give a goddamn about your fucking
Oopsie
album.
daisy.
Wow.
On this day in 2007, the White Stripes leaked copy of the new White Stripes album, Icky Thump, was played completely on Chicago's radio station Q101.
That's crazy talk.
WKQX Jack White personally called the U.S. radio station from Spain, where he was touring, to voice his displeasure.
I'll bet he did.
We have a collect call from Jack White for you.
Wow.
Do you accept the charges?
On this, Phil Spector, you guys remember Phil Spector?
Yes, that
I do remember
nutbag,
Phil. That
but yes.
He had great hair, though, you know.
Oh yeah, he had
all the
real
way
gray
till the
hair.
end.
On 2007, the coroner told the murder trial of music producer Phil Spector that U.S. actress Lana Clarkson's death was a homicide.
Yes, it was.
Dr. Louis Pina said bruising
fucking
suggested
knew
the
it was.
barrel of a gun may have been forced into Miss Clarkson's mouth before she was fatally shot in 2003. Spector was accused of murdering Clarkson on 3rd of February 2003 at his home in California. What happened? You obviously know more about it than I do. Did he go to jail?
Were they? Oh yeah. He died in jail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was sent to prison. He went away. Nutcase.
He was psychotic.
What's my number one rule? Never kill a hot chick.
Is that your number one rule?
That actually
I
is.
didn't even know. That
If
was
you
the
ever
thing.
meet my kids, I will say to them, "What's Daddy's number one rule?" And they will say that to you, unprovoked.
That's
You
great.
may not want her, but maybe I do. Yeah, what a
You
shame.
guys are crazy.
What a shame, man.
Yeah, we're crazy.
Yeah, we're crazy,
You
Lou.
got all kind of problems, man.
What do
You
you
guys
mean?
need to get into some serious psychiatric fucking help.
What?
Why do I want to hear about that guy? Fuck that guy.
Oh,
Who?
How about
What?
Mick Jagger? Mick
He's
Jagger
done.
offered
Yeah.
to buy an ice cream van but was turned down by its owner, who promised his daughter he would drive her to her wedding in it.
Seriously? That's what she wanted?
Giuseppe della Camera spent 10 years restoring the rusting van to perfection after he spotted it on the farm, being used as a chicken shed.
Oh, my.
The restoration was such a success, Sir Mick offered to buy the vehicle when he saw it. Did you know?
You're like literally hurting my brain.
Jagger told me he
It's a
really
bruise.
had fallen in love with the van and asked me if I would consider selling it. I was stunned when he offered me £100,000.
I really like that van.
I didn't even take it.
At that point, I'd be like,
Too much is never enough.
I'd be like, I don't have a daughter. What daughter?
What?
Why does she want to go to her wedding in an ice cream van? First of all.
That's how he met her husband.
Here's what you do. Here's a way
Yes,
better
go
way
ahead,
to
Lou.
handle this.
Yes?
You say, Mick, you absolutely can have it. Absolutely, and thank you for the $100,000, but I do have one caveat.
Yeah?
You have to drive it to my daughter's wedding. You have to be her chauffeur for the wedding.
Yeah, that
There
literally
you
could
go.
have been a
There
thing.
you go. Hello, everybody.
And it would have been a giant publicity stunt for the Stones.
No,
and
no,
everything.
no doubt. Yeah.
Bride's here. Let's go.
Wow.
That's my Mick Jagger. It's not very good.
This day in 2009, Ozzy Osbourne was suing the band's guitarist Tony Iommi over royalty payments.
Yeah, as you do.
The 60-year-old had accused Iommi of falsely claiming to have the sole rights to the band's name, which has cost him royalties from merchandise sales. Osbourne was seeking unspecified damages, lost profits, and declaration he is half owner of the trademark. Iommi claims that Osbourne legally relinquished the rights to the band's name in the 1980s. Osbourne said he believed all 4 original members of the band should share Black Sabbath's name equally.
Sure.
I'm going to venture that by 2009, Ozzy was a multimillionaire several times over.
You don't say.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
No.
And I'm not so. It just seems
He
like
wasn't. Sharon was.
Yeah. So Sharon, yeah, this.
Wow.
Johnny Cash, new museum dedicated to the life of Johnny Cash, stages official opening on this day in 2013.
And you didn't even go.
I know what was wrong.
Great.
You were in
A bit
Nashville.
of road trip.
On this day in 2014, Aretha Franklin received an honorary degree from Harvard University.
It cracks me up every time I hear it.
You're just easily amused. That's the problem.
I am, right?
So, like, this is a thing, you know, like, rock stars have been, like, harassed and harangued on stage for years. Like, you know, the story, you know, the person throws the bat on stage. All
Right.
You know, people throwing stuff, hitting people in the head, they're getting injured, and
Yes,
all kind of stuff like that.
Yes.
So, Enrique Iglesias, of all people, sliced his fingers when he tried to grab a drone camera, which was taking pictures of the audience
Remember
at a concert at Tijuana. He was semi-treated at the side of the stage to stop the bleeding and was advised to end the show.
Wow.
Oh, it's got blades on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know what I mean? That famous people are dealing with.
Drones? That's a thing famous people are
it's
dealing
They
with.
are.
It's
They
a new
are now.
thing.
It's like
Grabbing the drones.
Well, no, I'm like drones are coming.
That's
like,
why you got
when they-
yourself a 357 Magnum.
Without-
You shoot it out of the sky.
I think that's probably would have been a better solution.
Probably.
Would have been more epic at the concert if it
Yeah,
had been
right.
out of 3. Well, he should have went up to the microphone and said, "Here's what he should have done. He should have been, hello, my name is Enrique Iglesias.
You took a picture of my father.
You took a picture of my audience. This is a 357 Magnum. It will blow your head clean off.
Prepare to die.
Prepare to die."
Wow. See? Perfect.
On this day in 2019, singer-songwriter, guitarist, actor Leon Redbone died at age 69.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Later performed in several. He had tons of songs, and a lot of people have covered his songs. Later performed in several television commercials, including Budweiser beer, in which he lay on a surfboard singing "This Bud's for You."
Oh boy.
He just didn't care. How much money am I making on this? Oh, yeah, sure.
I'll
no problem.
do it. I'll do it.
It is what it is.
A lot of these guys didn't make a lot of money.
Uh-huh.
Some of these guys made a lot of money, but some of these guys did not make a lot of fucking money.
No, not a lot.
Boy. Oh, my. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Oh,
help me here.
gee.
Not many.
American singer Gladys Horton. Happy birthday today, 1945.
I love her donuts.
She's the founder and lead singer of the Motown all-female
Maybe
group,
not.
the Marvelettes.
Oh, the Marvelettes.
Please,
Okay.
Mr. Postman.
Yes.
Please!
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Klaus.
Do your job.
Klaus! Uh-oh, here we go.
Klaus Fluoride.
Sure. He has such a beautiful smile. Yes, that's right, he does. Yeah. Okay. Was ist los, Honky?
Was born this day in 1949 from the Dead Kennedys, the American punk rock band who formed in San Francisco. The band was one of the first American hardcore bands to make significant impact in the United Kingdom. Nikki Head-On. So we went from Klaus Fluoride to Nikki Head-On.
Let's get my head on.
Nikki Topper Head-On, drummer from The Clash.
Oh, there you go.
Born
Okay.
in 1955.
Happy birthday.
Marie Fredriksson,
Oh.
Swedish
I miss
pop
her.
singer,
Oh, see, we both go. Oh.
pianist. Born this day in 1958. She was in the band Roxette.
Yes, she was.
Had
Great
tons
band.
of number one hits. She died on the 9th of December 2019, age 61, following a 17-year-long battle with cancer. Stephen Duffy, singer, songwriter, guitarist, founding member of Duran Duran. Born this day in 1962. Winona Judd.
Or as we like to call her, Winona Judd.
Winona Judd. Jugs.
Sorry.
They were called the Jugs. They were called the Judds.
No, that's a that's a different band.
The Jugs.
The Jugs.
Actually, they were called. I don't know if you guys played the video game Leisure Suit Larry, but they were called the Jugs on there.
The Jugs.
Holy cow, Leisure Suit
Yeah, I used to
Larry.
play that game all the time.
Wow.
I remember their commercial on television for their greatest hits.
The greatest what?
Their greatest hits.
Oh, hits. I'm
what do you
sorry.
think I said? Greatest hits.
That's what he thought.
The Judds' greatest hits.
The Judds'
All four
greatest
of them. Get this special edition EP. Side 1.
No. Don't even go there.
Winona's left tit. And if you act now, we'll include a special edition Ashley Judd.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my
Just remember,
God.
this is all free, folks, because don't ask for your money
American
back.
musician, singer, songwriter, and political activist Tom Morello was born this day in 1964. He's a guitarist, most famously with Rage Against the Machine
Yep.
and Audio Slave.
Yes, sir.
American musician, lead singer, guitarist of the indie rock band Pavement, Stephen Malkmus was born this day.
Happy birthday.
Sven Pipen,
Oh, yeah.
German musician Sven. He's playing bass with the Black Crowes right now.
Ooh.
Plays original bassist Johnny Colt.
Hey, no.
Tim Burgess, songwriter with the English indie rock band The Charlatans. Born in 1968. Patrick Dahlheimer. Not Patrick Dahmer.
No.
Dahlheimer.
Dahlheimer. From the band Live, bassist. Happy birthday.
Ah,
This
happy
day
birthday.
in 71. CeeLo Green. Rapper, record producer, CeeLo Green. This day in 1974. Brian Fair from the band Shadows Fall was born this day
Sure.
in 1975. And that appears
There
to
you
be
go.
that. That appears to be that.
That's
And
how
boom
she
goes the
rolls.
dynamite.
And Dine goes the booming right.
Sure. Why not?
Do we have any common mementos?
I don't know.
How
I gave you the one. Tales of the Road Warriors. You have Sergeant Barry Sadler on the list.
Yep.
Ballad of the Green Beret.
Yep.
And on the other end of the spectrum, Fixing to Die. Country Joan Fish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what about
One, two,
what
three,
about
is that the one? 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4? What am I
Okay.
thinking? Yeah.
what
yeah.
are we fighting for?
Don't give a damn. Next
up
up
All right,
is
look,
Vietnam.
I gotta
Where
go
you
pee, I'm
going,
sorry.
Lily? What? Did we scare you away? Sorry about that, but
I
we just
can't fight this feeling anymore. I've forgotten what I started for. It's time to leave my bladder at the door
Folks,
and head up to the toilet forever.
please send your tax-deductible dollars to help Loudini at this station.
P.O. Box 721, Pueblo, Colorado.
Oh, remember those? Yeah, me too.
Pueblo. A Pueblo.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Hells yes. Hi, kitty.
Lily has left the building.
Yeah, well, she hasn't left the building. She left the room. She's still somewhere in the building. We don't know what she's doing. Okay, we do know what she's doing, but that's just the point.
So what is your favorite Pittsburgh Memorial Day memory?
Wow, man, I don't really have any.
Mine is the WDVE Memorial Day 500.
Oh, the 500. Sure. I actually listened to a little bit of that this week.
And
what was the number one
So
song?
there's a big it's like in a kind of a radio station does this kind of publicity stunt every Memorial Day weekend. We're all weekend long. They count down the 500 greatest songs of all time, as selected by you.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Is it really?
it's supposed to be.
I didn't vote this year.
So
You feel better?
Yes.
Lily's
it's always
back.
interesting to see like what songs are number one. I did not listen. I probably could find it online.
Yeah. I was kind of wondering what it
But
would be.
when I was growing up, it was there was always a certain top. You
Right,
knew Stairway
right.
to Heaven was going to
Stairway
be
to
in the top
Heaven,
5.
yeah.
Freebird was
Freebird,
going to be in the top
yeah,
5.
exactly.
Maybe
Yeah.
Born to Be Wild.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a sort of
Yeah, I was kind of wondering what it would be this year rather.
But I remember listening to that as a kid because here's what I thought. I was like, okay, if these are the top 500 songs, like I should know what they are.
You would think.
I'm a musician. No, what I mean is I'm a musician. Like I want to know, because I was a rock fan. I don't know these songs. I was just kind of getting into music. So I was like, I want to know what these songs are.
Oh, I see what you're
You know what I
saying.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
back
so
in
I
the
took
day,
it.
yeah.
I kind of took it seriously. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, these are the top 500 songs. Like,
This is it.
This is it. I gotta
figure
pay
this shit
attention
out.
to this.
I gotta catch up.
Yeah.
So, and you're going to what? You're going to see Anvil.
Anvil next week on the 8th
next week.
I'm gonna
at the
go
Craft
too.
House.
I have to see them. After I
At
talked
the
about them
Crack
last
House.
week. What? No, not the Crack House.
Craft
Craft.
House in Pittsburgh.
You silly
Ish.
rabbit. I want to meet those guys.
They might do a meet and greet. You never know.
They might do you,
Of course they will. It's Anvil. Not that big.
Danville.
It's not Danville. It's Anvil.
Danville.
I might actually be able to get a gig with them.
They are.
They'll be like, yeah. You play? We need somebody. I could be their next manager. I mean, after watching the documentary.
So I just wanted to tell everybody out there, real quick. I had mentioned that I had gone to the movies when I was telling that silly story about the pig squeal.
You are silly.
But I did see 2 really good movies over the weekend, and one absolutely terrible movie. Just
Oh.
I won't even say what it is because I got snookered into watching it,
Oh,
and I was
my.
like, "This is terrible," and I just was like, "Okay, you get invested a little
Right,
bit."
right. You're like,
Well, might as well stick it out.
I'll
But the
finish
2
it.
movies are Everywhere, everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yes.
Go see it. It's just brilliant. If you look it up, you pull it up online. Like nobody's giving it a bad review. Everybody's like, it's amazing, very unique. Gonna have a good time. And the other one is Northman with Alexander Skarsgård. Nicole Kidman. Is
Oh,
in
there
that
you
as
go.
well.
Okay, cool.
Willem Dafoe.
Yes.
And that is epic. It's just like this epic. I think some people thought that it was going to be. I know some people didn't want to see because they thought it was like, oh, it's going to be like a rip off of Thor or something.
Right.
Like that. It's not like that at all. This is like a serious movie.
Okay.
It's like it deals with like adult relationships and things like that. It's not. It's also very personal. Both these movies are very personal stories. There's like all this kind of epic shit going on, but at the end of the day, it's really about these characters that you end up really caring about. But and just to give you a little background, Northman is based on the Norse legend of Prince Amleth. the story of Prince Amleth is what Shakespeare used to base the story of Hamlet.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. And it's really set in some really beautiful locations. Cinematography is absolutely stunning. I will warn you, it is very violent.
Oh my!
Very, very. They don't shy away from blood, guts, and gore in it. But it goes well. It works with the theme and the seriousness and the sort of heaviness of the story. But at one point, I did not realize it was based on Amleth. And as they were talking, I thought a couple times when characters said Amleth, I thought they were saying Hamlet. Mm-hmm. And then I was going like, this is Shakespearean. It's that kind of story. Like,
right.
This kind of epic tragedy, drama thing. It's really good. Very well acted. Anna Taylor-Joy, who's like the new hot thing right now. So, but I would highly recommend that you check them out. If you can find them in movie theaters, even better, because you're going to really enjoy them. So, maybe I'll go pop in at the Anvil show and say hey to the guys.
There you go.
You should.
Yeah,
You should come out.
They would.
I should bring an Anvil to the show.
You
they'll
should.
sign and have them
They
sign
probably
it.
will sign that.
That's hilarious.
Can you guys help me in with this? It's really heavy.
So shout out to Wolf's Customs. Go to Wolf's Customs online. They do great custom artwork on your musical instruments. Go to rockrageradio.com. Download that app. It's totally free, where you can hear things like
Hot Licks with Lily Six
Yeah.
Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and all the other great shows. So 24/7
as well
free.
as the Loudini Rock and Roll
Yes.
Circus. In fact, some of you might be doing that. If you're listening on Rock Rage Radio, or coming across it on Spotify or iTunes or something like that, go to LouLombardiMusic.com and or LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. You want to get a chance to get involved with our exclusive Inner Circle group on Facebook, where you hear us talking about people chiming in live, and we're talking to them and stuff. That is because we go live on Facebook when we record the podcast.
Yeah.
I have a frog in my throat. Excuse me. I absolutely drink something.
You've got.
Is it Kermit?
I can't even do it.
Hey, Lou, am I in your throat?
Nah.
Nah, that was
That's
the worst.
that's
Kermit the
horrible.
fucking frog. What is wrong with you?
A lot of things.
That was shameful.
That was. I got to go home and practice.
Practice.
I got to practice.
I got practice.
Delicious.
Anyways, yeah, so to get you access to our Inner Circle group, that you hear us talking about folks and everything, talking with folks and everything online, that's where you can check that out. You can become part of the conversation yourself. Plus, there's all kind of other cool stuff there. So check that out. LouLombardiMusic.com and LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. Either one is great. All right, guys, it was a good show. Next week, we will be. I have some really good. I'm going to give you guys just sort of sneak
sample.
preview.
Snippet.
A sample.
We're going to give you guys a sneak preview of what we have for future shows we have coming up. So next week, we will be giving you your summer playlist.
Yeah.
As compiled by the cast of characters here at the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. So these are all great summer songs. You're going to have some ones that you know and love. You're going to have some deep cuts or tracks that maybe you forgot about, as well as some new songs. So these are songs that just give you that great energy and vibe for summer. So that will be our kickoff to summer for you guys. I'm excited about this one. On the 13th, we will be talking about the story behind the great classic album, Great Western Valkyrie by Rival Sons.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't want to miss that as well.
Yeah.
And, on 620,
Yeah.
the top 10 bands with 2 or more lead vocalists.
There you go. That's a good one.
Okay, there's been a lot of those. And we're going to round out June with 10 songs that taught us that crime doesn't pay.
Oh, my.
Why I'm doing it at the end of June, I don't know. It just doesn't coincide
Crazy.
with anything. You know, it's just something fun to do.
It just came into his brain.
It just came into my brain. It sounds like a fun topic, and I think we're gonna have a good time talking about it. Oh, we find all kinds of fun stuff to talk about, don't we? Lily?
Oh, boy.
Always.
All right, guys. Any other announcements before we get the hell out of here?
Negatory.
All right. You guys have a great week, and we'll catch you all in the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
Wow.